DepEd Quality Policy Statement. The Department of Education is committed to provide learners with quality basic education that is accessible, inclusive, and liberating through proactive leadership, shared governance, evidence-based policies, standards and programs, responsive and relevant curricula, highly competent and committed officials, teaching and non-teaching personnel, and enabling environment. The department upholds the highest standards of conduct and performance to fulfill stakeholders' needs and expectations by adhering to constitutional mandates, statutory and regulatory requirements, and sustains client satisfaction through continuous improvement of the quality management system.
Basic Comforter. At this juncture, we shall be having the orientation proper, and that is to be given by the EPS1 in English. Let us all have a virtual applause for Madam Helen B. Tito. Good morning, ma'am.
Okay na. Hello. Good morning. Thank you, Jazz. I'd like also to say thank you so much to our SDS Sir Nong for giving us the message despite the hectic schedule of the SDS. Good morning to our top management again, to Sir Nong, to ASDS Che, ASDS Joel, our chief, Sir Mark and Ma'am Doti, and of course to all of you people watching and joining this virtual orientation on the National Learning Group. Good morning again. With me here in the executive lounge is Sir Jason and Sir Nino Valencia on the technical side. And virtually, we also have Sir Mini Chodoro and Ma'am Minday Rihuso, and of course, Sir Josh, the core group of this program on the NLC. Paano na ako ma-present na hawada na.
And so let us welcome back Madam Helen B. Titong for the orientation on the National Learning Camp. Take it away, Ma'am Len.
Okay, so am I heard now? Okay, sige. Let's continue. Pasensya na talaga ha. Pasensya na. Just stick on your seats and please listen again as we continue the orientation. So we're now here on the slides on your screen. DepEd is committed to learning recovery. So the National Learning Camp is a part of the National Learning Recovery Program that aims to help the students to catch up with the learning losses during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic where schools are closed down. So alam naman natin yun, na-experience lahat natin yun. So DepEd gave its commitment to learning recovery in collaboration with the development partners like the LGUs and stakeholders through the NLRP. The implementation of the NLC is a strategic initiative supporting the National Learning Recovery Program and is complemented by programs to improve skills in reading, mathematics, science, and technology, and similar initiatives which aim to sustain the learning recovery. So as you see on the screen, that quality learning is dependent on quality teaching. Quality learning is contingent upon quality teaching, sabi dito. So DepEd recognizes that learners need to be supported to address the learning loss. DepEd is committed to supporting teachers and taking cognizance of the unequivocal evidence that good teachers are vital to raising learner achievement. Totoo naman talaga ito na ang quality learning is contingent upon quality teaching. Kung gusto mo ng quality learning, manggagaling yan sa quality teaching. So yun ang ibig sabihin ng programang ito. Now let's move on to the implementation of the NLC. This is a strategic initiative supporting the National Learning Recovery Program and is complemented by programs to improve skills in reading, mathematics, science, and technology, and similar initiative which aims to sustain the learning recovery. Here are some repealed policies in order to give way to the National Learning Camp. These are the DepEd Order Number 13, Series of 2018, which includes the implementing guidelines on the conduct of remedial and advancement classes during summer for the K-12 basic education program, or the remedial class for students who failed in 1 to 2 learning areas. And also another one, a policy which is being repealed, is the end of the school year classes. This is DepEd Order Number 25, Series of 2022, or the enrichment classes for grade 1 to grade 11 learners who got a 75 to 79 grade in any learning area. Remedial class for students who failed in 1 to 2 learning areas. And now we have this National Learning Camp. Next. May I remind everyone that the National Learning Camp is a voluntary 3 to 5 week end of the school year break program. Though the nature of this program is voluntary, being in the DepEd, we have to campaign for our teachers teaching English, science, and mathematics to volunteer to teach in the camps, and campaign also for our learners to enroll in the camp, and campaign also for the stakeholders to support the camp. So eto yun, voluntary talaga ang nature niya. So baka sabihin natin na, bayaan na yan kasi voluntary lang naman. But we are in the DepEd, kaya kailangan natin na tayo pa rin ang magbigay ng advocacy sa lahat to support this program. Tayo ito at sa atin ito. Now, the purpose is twofold. Ang National Learning Camp is a two-pronged program. Ang purpose niya is to improve learner outcomes and strengthen teachers' competence to teach better. So, dalawa ang purpose niya. Yun nga, unahin ng mga learners to improve their learning outcomes, and also, of course, in order for them to be improved in their learning outcomes, kailangan natin strengthen ang competence ng mga teachers. And that's through through capacity building. It is designed, yes, with a twofold purposes. May I give you also the distinctive features of the camps? Ito yung purpose nila, and then with the 3 camps. First is the enhancement camp. Ito, ang purpose niya is to enhance learning by providing greater depth, breadth, and complexity of learners' knowledge and skills and understanding. Yan ang purpose ng enhancement camp. Yan ang first camp. Ang duration and specific dates nito is 3 weeks. 3 days each week from July 24 to August 11, 2023. So, pakitandaan po ng duration and specific dates nito. Enhancement camp siya. 3 weeks, 3 days each week from July 24. We'll start on July 24 and will end on August 11, 2023. Ang grade level coverage niya is grade 7 and 8. Schools have this prerogative also to offer this to other grade levels, but for now, let's focus only to grades 7 and 8. Mag-i-expand siya by next school year. But by this time, as a pilot implementation of this program, we shall have the grade 7 and 8 only. Now, the learning area domain focus is grade 7 and 8, English, Science, and Mathematics. Tatlo lang po ito, English, Science, and Mathematics. Now, okay. Now, the learning delivery modality, of course, is in-person learning delivery modality. Ang specific, ang pinaka-maximum class size is 35 learners in a class. But during the orientation in Baguio City, ang pinaka-ideal number of learners in a class is only 10 to 15. But we will see, no, depende yun sa enrollment na magagather natin. But yung unang guideline is maximum of 35 learners in a class. Now, ito yung class size na sinasabi, maximum of 35 learners per class. School head shall have the discretion to devise intervention for flexibility in organizing classes based on the availability of teachers and classroom. So, depende na yon sa mga school heads. That's why we want all the school heads, if possible, to attend to this orientation. Kasi most of the decision would come from the school heads. Ang discretion na nila paano mag-devise ng mga intervention and the flexibility kung paano yung mga classrooms, paano ma-organize ang mga classrooms to house the 3 camps in every school. Okay. Now, we'll move on to this slide. Here's the diagram on how the NLC is conducted in a week. Ito yon. All 3 camps shall dedicate 3-day teacher-learner engagement. Ito yung example for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. While the 2 days every week, Monday and Friday, shall be allocated for teachers' collaborative planning, preparation, and review of instruction through Learning Action Cell. May I know if the screen is okay. Okay. So again, there is a glitch. Sabihan na muna, pinifix pa ni Sir Nino at saka ni Sir Johnson. And yes, I hope you are taking down notes na sa mga sinasabi ko. Yun nga, pasensya na muna kasi talagang mahirap ang technology ngayon. It's not cooperating actually. Nakakatuwa, pero I'm sure that you will understand kasi ganito talaga ang buhay natin ngayon. Anyway, if this is going to be like this all throughout the orientation, I'm sure that because Ma'am Che na ASDS Che is listening right now, she's also monitoring us. Siguro magkakaroon talaga tayo ng face-to-face. Pasensya na talaga kami din dito nagra-rattle. Ako hindi ko na alam kung ano ang sasabihin ko. It's because I just don't know if the screen is running in your screen also and if I am heard right sa inyong mga audio. All I can see now is si Ate Abing. Nakikita ko sa screen ko. So, yun. Paki-wait lang sandali and the gentlemen are fixing the slideshow. Oo. Yun. Mahirap talaga. Mahirap talaga ang technology natin ngayon. Although, nakakatulong siya pero sa ngayon, it's not cooperating. Okay. Sige, Ninyo, tell me if I can continue. Not yet. So, siguro, kailangan na munang kumanta ang audience. Anyone who can volunteer to sing para natin maantay natin while they are fixing the presentation. Meanwhile, I'd like also to say thank you for uh, being in the
Kaya
group
po, ma'am.
si with Ma'am. Oo, salamat sa inyong lahat. Sige lang, gagawin niyo lang muna ginagawa or gagawin niyo muna yung mga nandiyan pang mga trabaho while waiting for this glitch to be fixed. Um, si Ma'am Imelda and si Sir Mini, I am not sure with Sir Josh because he is in Burias Island and I just don't know kung may signal si Sir Josh doon. Okay na. Okay na? Can you see the screen?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay, salamat. Salamat. Okay. So dito na tayo sa nandito na tayo sa sa diagram on how the NLC is conducted in a week. So yung Monday kasi di ba 5 days yon in a week. Sa Monday, magkakaroon sila ng collaborative planning and preparation. So in this preparation, the teacher will of course look at the materials and the lesson plans and magko-collaborate sila. They will look at the materials also and see kung ano ang pwedeng mangyari sa pagtuturo ng teacher. So dito sa Monday na ito, pwedeng sumali during the LAC session. Parang LAC session siya wherein teachers and school heads and even the PSDSS and the education program supervisor pwedeng makipag-collaborate sa mga teachers at titingnan kung ano ang ituturo ni teacher for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Ito yung 3-day learner engagement ni teacher with the learners. Now, on a Friday, magkakaroon ng collaborative review of instruction. Ano yung nangyari? Babalikan ang lessons previously given to the learners. Titingnan, collaboratively, magre-review ng instruction. Ano yung mga dapat na hindi dapat mangyari o hindi dapat na ituro? Ano yung dapat pang i-improve? So doon, may reflection si teacher na nagagawin sa pagtuturo niya. So, sa 5 araw na yon, Monday and Friday, yun ang sa collaborative planning and review of instruction. While Tuesday to Thursday, yun ang 3-day learner engagement ni teacher with the learners, of course. So, sa isang buong linggo po iyan. Next, the NLC shall be conducted within 3 to 5 weeks. Ito yun, ang enhancement camp is 3 weeks only. We'll start from July 24 to August 11, 2023. Sa enhancement po yan. Sa intervention and consolidation camps, 5 weeks siya. Wow. It will start on July 24 and it will end on August 25, 2023. So magkaiba po sila. Ang enhancement camp solo siya, 3 weeks lang siyang ikakandak. While the intervention and consolidation camps, 5 weeks siyang ikakandak. Na. Please take note also of the dates. Paki-note ninyo ng mga dates. Same process with the enhancement, intervention, and consolidation camps. Monday the teacher will start with the collaborative planning and preparation, and on Friday, collaborative review and of instruction. So, may mga schools tayo na maliliit lang. Sasabihin ninyo na, for example, sa isang school, isa lang ang nagtuturo ng English, isa din ang nagtuturo ng science, o isa din ang nagtuturo ng mathematics. Or, sadly, baka may mga schools tayo na siya na ang nagtuturo ng 3 subjects na yan. So, sasabihin ninyo, paano magko-collaborate planning and preparation ng teacher kung iisa lang siya. So kung malapit din lang naman ang school na ang ibang school malapit sa inyong school, the teacher can collaborate with the other teachers in the nearby school. Kung posible po yan. Now, kung meron naman sa small school na iba ang nagtuturo ng English, of course, iba naman ang nagtuturo ng science and mathematics, hindi po sila pwedeng collaborate with each other kasi magkaiba yung mga ituturo nilang lessons. Now, pwede rin mag-assist sa kanila ang kanilang mga school heads to know para ma-prepare ang kanyang mga materials, and of course makita niya kung paano ituro through the DLP na ibigay naman sa inyo. Now, this is open to teachers, school heads, public schools, district supervisors, and education program supervisors. Ang collaborative planning and preparation po. Structured, focused, with logical flow of sessions. Nandiyan na yan. Gagamitin nyo na lang. And as of this time, in English, and also in math and science, baka magkaroon pa ng meeting with the supervisors to see. No, titingnan pa namin lahat ang mga materials ninyo, lahat ng gagamitin ninyo, dadaan pa muna sa amin para makita namin na talagang ready na para gamitin ninyo sa school. Okay? So, these LAC sessions shall be open to teachers. Sinabi ko nga. Ito yung suggested timetable for collaborative sessions which is enclosed in this slide. Collaborative expertise day ang tawag natin. Sa Monday, for Monday, ito yung gagawin, personal reading of LRs. Teacher personally understand what is expected and provided. That's going to be a 45-minute discussion. Titingnan ni teacher ang mga lessons, ang mga competencies. That's personal reading. Gagawin niya yon personal na titingnan niya, babasahin niya para prepared na siya kung sakasakaling may mga tanong doon na kailangan niyang gawin o masagot niya. The next is the collaborative discussion and sharing. Ito na yung sharing. Lesson plans and approach, content and teacher notes as well as students' worksheets. Titingnan ninyo pareho. For example, 2 o 3 kayo sa English o 2 o 3 kayo sa math or science. Titingnan ninyo ang mga lesson plans and ang approach ninyo doon. Content-based ito. Kaya magdi-discuss kayo. Ano yung napapaloob sa lessons, and then titingnan ninyo kung paano gagawin at paano ituturo sa mga bata. Ang number 3 is personal reading and initial planning. Teachers think of lesson goals, what they will do, and how they will do it. That's going to be a 45-minute discussion. Now, for the collaborative discussion and sharing also, teachers think of lesson goals, what will they do, and how they will do it. So, ito yung mga bagay na although nandoon sa lesson plans, but if the teacher think of other possible way na maging simple ang lesson, nandoon yan. Pwede rin naman kayong mag-alter, pwede rin naman kayong gumawa ng mga activities na base doon, base lang talaga sa competency. Hindi tayo magdi-depart o aalis doon sa mga competencies na i-develop natin. Collaboratively, you can discuss that kung ano ang gagawin na with the pair teacher or the other teachers teaching the same subject in the school. Now, for the next, personal lesson preparation. With gathered information, teacher finalize their approach. So mag-uusap-usap talaga kayo. Susundin ko na lang itong lesson plan dahil okay naman talaga siya. You agree, you agree with the lessons na eto maganda talaga yung mga activities, then go on with it. Now, the next is collaborative discussion and sharing. Final approach shared with peers. That's going to be 60-minute collaborative discussion and sharing. Isi-share na niyo yan with the other groups. Now, final na siya. And then the insights and closure, teacher wrap-up discussion. Sa wrap-up discussion ninyo, titingnan na ninyo kung tama yung pag-wrap-up ninyo, pare-parehas din. And as much as possible, kung ano ang input ng isa, dapat iisa rin ang sabay-sabay, pare-parehas ang input. For example, ilang learning camps meron kayo sa inyong school. The next is This is the suggested teacher timetable for collaborative sessions. Suggested as it is printed here that schools can modify the timetable, hence the word suggested. So pwede ninyong i-modify ito by school.
Pag
This will be given to you also. Anyway, titingnan nyo na lang ito kung paano hinati-hati and based from the time, the activity, and then yung notes for the teachers, or for the teachers. So titingnan niyo lang 'yon, no? Ibibigay naman namin ito sa inyo, and then you can devise your own timetable also by school. Now, in this slide, this is an option for education in emergencies, alternative delivery mode, yung EIEADM. In the event of a declaration of suspension or cancellation of in-person classes brought about by natural or human-induced disasters or calamities, armed conflicts, and emergencies that endanger the lives and limbs of learners and teaching and non-teaching personnel, schools and community learning centers shall automatically implement education in emergencies, alternative delivery mode. Home learning activities, either online or modular or a combination of both, shall only be provided if learners can accomplish them based on the severity of the situation in their respective areas. So, ito nangyari to sa atin, di ba? Nalaman natin meron tayong cases na ganito, yung mga man-made disasters, so pwedeng gawin natin ang option na ito to have an education emergencies alternative delivery mode, or the EIEADM. Ipapadala lang natin yung ating mga materials sa mga bata, and or this can also be conducted online. Pwede rin online. Depende na yon sa inyong gagawing option or strategies by school. Now, the duration of the NLC and other end of the school year break activities. School have the flexibility to design the class program provided that the suggested teaching and learning materials are adequately covered and the targeted learning competencies are not compromised. Please take note of this. You have the flexibility. The school has the flexibility to design the class program. Kayo yung pwedeng mag-design. Pero, ang sinasabi dito, that the suggested teaching and learning materials are adequately covered and the targeted learning competencies are not compromised. So, yung mga competencies doon na achieve talaga natin, though, we're given the flexibility to make our class program design. Next is dito, the early registration shall be conducted at least 2 weeks before the end of the school year. Official registration shall be conducted for 2 weeks from July 1, 2023 to July 14. So please take note of the dates. Under the supervision and guidance of their school heads, class advisors shall be responsible for enlisting interested learners. So after the orientation, you may now conduct the advocacy campaign to the learners, especially the parents, for them to enroll their learners, their children. Teachers in ESM surely know who are potential to enroll in these camps, di ba? Tayo naman, kahit hindi tayo nakapag-conduct nung online pre-test ng NLC. But kasi tayo mismo, for example, teacher ka sa English, more or less alam na natin sa mga bata kung sino ang mai-enroll sa mga bawat camps, kung saan pwede ang bawat bata sa inyong klase. Kung sino lang ang mga dapat na ma-enroll in every camps, So, more or less, pag tayo ang nagtuturo, alam na natin, ito pang intervention talaga ito. Ay siya pang consolidation, while the others are for enrichment. So, alam natin yun kung sino at ano ang dapat na camp para sa kanila. I'm flashing the NLC registration template and the parents and legal guardians consent. Ito yung template nila. We will give you this after. Perhaps we will be sending this through the LRMS. Sila kasi ang in charge ng mga materials. So ibibigay namin 'yun sa inyo. Now, the requirement, secure a duly accomplished parent legal guardian consent to learners who wish to participate in the NLC. So prior to participating in the NLC, a duly accomplished parent or guardian consent. Ito na 'yon na bago pa mag NLC, meron muna, halimbawa nag-i-enroll sila, may kailangan nating mag-secure ng parent or legal guardian consent to our learners. Okay. Now, how are we going to place our learners? Ito, the learner placement in the AMP and other EOS 2020 activities. Ang basis pre-assessment results on the learner's academic and performance in the previous school year. Okay, so sino ang mag-i-enroll sa enhancement camp, sa intervention, sa consolidation camp, or sino ang mapupunta sa remedial class? Na? So, based on learners' academic performance in the previous school year. Okay. A school shall administer pre-assessment for grade 7 and 8 learners before the start of the NLC. The results of the pre-assessment on the learner's academic performance in the previous school year shall determine the placement in a particular camp. Okay. So, placement of learners in camps uses the general weighted average of the learners in the ESM. So since hindi tayo nakapag-conduct ng yung binigay ng central office kasi mahirap nga sa atin ang technology. Mahirap kasi online 'yun. Ang placement na ibibigay natin sa mga bata ay ang weighted average of the learners in the 3 learning areas, in English, Science, and Mathematics. Paano? Please take note of this. 74 below, ang bata dapat nasa intervention camp siya. Okay? Again, 74 below ang grade, ang weighted average ng bata sa English, for example, English, Science, and Mathematics. 74 below, intervention camp siya. 75 to 84, nasa consolidation camp siya. While 85 above, nasa enhancement camp siya. Okay? So again, 74 below, intervention camp. 75 to 84, consolidation camp. And 85 above, nasa enhancement camp ang learner. Okay. Now, here's the teaching and learning resources. For enhancement and consolidation camps for grade 7 and 8, English, Science, and Mathematics, they're going to have lesson plans, teacher's notes, and learners' workbooks. Ito yung ibibigay sa kanila. For the intervention camp for grade 7 and 8, bibigyan sila ng integrated lesson plans and teacher notes, learners' workbooks, teacher-learner resource books. This is for fundamental mathematics and English. While on the remedial class, ang ibibigay is school shall have the flexibility to decide on the learning resources that meet the needs of learners and align with the most appropriate teaching approaches and strategies. Okay. So, ito yung mga ibibigay. Anyway, you don't worry because as I said, the LRMS unit will give you all these learning resources. And later on, after we finalize the funding for this, magbibigay na kami sa inyo ng advisory or kung ano ang gagawin ninyo during the reproduction of these materials. Now, still on the teaching and learning resources, schools shall be provided with lesson format and design for grades 7 and 8 that aligns with the objective of the NLC. A strength of this lesson format and design is that teachers are afforded resources, time, and practice involving learners to further extend their own skills, knowledge, and understanding of teaching and learning. Okay, so I think this is very clear. Now, still on teaching and learning resources, before the commencement of the NLC, schools shall prepare. Ito yung mga ipiprepare ng mga schools. Of course, the class programs, ipiprepare yan ng school. Classroom and other learning spaces. Ito yung mga classrooms natin na ipiprepare natin for the number of pupils who will be number of learners who will be occupying the classroom. Teaching and learning resources. Ito yung mga samples like textbooks, activity sheets, assessment tasks, video lessons, and other materials. Ito yung ipiprepare. Anyway, I am sure that most of the schools available itong mga ito. No? Yung textbooks, yung mga activity sheets, assessment tasks, and video lessons, and other materials which are available in your school. Ipiprepare nyo lang yan for backup resources for the teachers. Now, for the assessment, we have the pre-assessment. This is going to be between June 20 and July 8. So, ngayon is July 5 and we still have 3 days more to go. Kaya nga, nagbigay sa inyo sa mga planning officers, si Ma'am Elaine Silverio, meron siyang binigay sa inyo na template for you to accomplish, and the deadline is today. Yun ang babasehan namin for the pre-assessment, yung mga grades ng mga bata. And for the post-assessment, that's going to be after the National Learning Camp. Okay, pagkatapos na. Yun na ang bigay na ng post-assessment. All right. So, dito naman tayo sa assessment. So before, this is the pre-assessment conducted prior to the start of the NLC. Basis for camp placement. As I said, ang basis natin for placement of the learners in the camps, yung mga grades na binigay ko. No, that's the pre-assessment. Now, for the during assessment, formative assessment ito. This is administered throughout the learning camp. Alam naman natin, most especially sa mga teachers, this is very understandable para sa atin, kasi ginagawa natin ito, mga formative assessment, conducted individually or in groups. So, alam natin yan, how to make the formative assessment. Key focus shall be on identifying learners' needs and strengths, and this can be informal. So, yun, while doing the lesson, giving the lesson, so nagbibigay talaga tayo ng mga formative assessments. So this is being applied with all the teachers I know for sure na ginagawa ninyo ito. So this is not new to you. Okay. For the summative, that's after the learning camp, administered at the end of the learning camps through post-assessment. Yun na, pag after na ng learning camp, magbibigay ng post-assessment. Evaluate learners' learning achievement gained through the camps, and typically more formal. Now, medyo more formal ito. Unlike the formative assessment, this can be informal questioning. Pwede yun. Now, this is the summative assessment. This is taken from DO number 8 series of 2015 for remedial classes and senior high school learners who enrolled subjects in advance, yung sa summative assessment. All right. We'll move on to feedback to parents. Teachers are encouraged to provide regular updates to parents, legal guardians on their children's learning progress, either through phone calls, letters, notes, or one-on-one conference. Feedback and recommendations to support their children may be formally communicated through a parent-teacher conference that can be scheduled midway through the NLC or its conclusion. Okay. So, mag-update talaga. Kailangan, may need tayo to update the parents, no, with the performance of their learners. Pwede, sabi dito, pwede sa phone calls, kung kinakailangan na pwede tayong pwedeng tumawag through letters or notes or conferences or parents forum. Pwede natin gawin yon for them to be informed of the achievement of their learners. Still under achievement, no? To ensure that the instructional needs of learners shall be addressed, teachers are encouraged to prepare general feedback or comments on the learner's progress to document their strengths and areas for improvement. These feedback or comments shall serve as information to learners, parents, and teachers on the instructional support needed by learners in the upcoming school year. Feedback or comments may be written in language understood by parents or guardians, either in English or Filipino. So, yun. Understood po ito na when we want the parents to well understand the feedback, kailangan nating isulat ito sa salita na maiintindihan nila. Okay? So, this can also be written in English or Filipino, or, of course, kung talagang, I know kung may difficulty ang parents, so we can write the comments or feedback in their mother tongue. Alright. So, this is the assessment. Okay. So, this will be given to you also. Ang anong format niya kung paano gagawin. We move on to the certificate of completion. Certificate of completion shall be awarded to learners who fulfill the requirements of the camp. Yung nakatapos, yung kumbaga na kompleto niya, no? Completed the NLC camp kung saan siya naka-enroll. So, bibigyan siya ng certificate of completion. Participation of teachers in the NLC is voluntary. Ito 'yon, kasi bago pa tayo nagsimula, may naririnig na talaga ako na hindi niya na mute yung kanyang mic. Kaya narinig namin dito na sabi niya, wag na yan, wag ka nang mag-online. Hayaan mo na yan. Kasi voluntary lang naman yan. Yes, this is really voluntary in nature. Si teacher, pwedeng hindi mag-volunteer o pwedeng mag-volunteer. But we encourage, the teachers, most especially those teachers teaching science, English, and mathematics, to please volunteer. Kasi sinabi din naman ni Sir Nong kanina, narinig ninyo, na may mga benefits din naman kayong matatanggap. Ano po? So, school heads shall identify prospective teachers who shall handle specific learning areas in the respective camps. So, sa school head ang mag-a-identify. Kasi mas alam niya ang kanyang mga teachers. Then, teachers shall be selected based on competence to effectively deliver the learning content and skills of the NLC. Okay? So, preference shall be given to teachers with willingness, commitment, excellence, and specialized in the respective learning areas. So, yan po yan po kung paano piliin ni school head ang kanyang teachers na magbo-volunteer to teach in the learning camp. So, sabi nga, voluntary siya even in the learners na mag-i-enroll. This is also voluntary for everyone. So, yun nga, may mga benefits na makukuha yung mga teachers, pero sabi nga kanina ni Sir Nong, mas baka i-consider ninyo pa yung inyong bakasyon kaysa sa mag-volunteer. Na? Kaya nga, preference to teachers with willingness, commitment, excellence, and specialized in their respective learning areas. Yun ang qualification na hinahanap. Yung may puso na teacher, na magbo-volunteer talaga with or without things na matatanggap natin. Meron pa tayong mga ganyang mga teachers at sigurado ako marami tayo nito sa SDO Masbate. Okay, so we move on to other EOSY break activities. Ito yung sinasabi nating remedial classes for learners who did not meet expectations in one or two learning areas. Shall be made available for all grade levels, including grade 7 and 8 learners in learning areas other than English, Science, and Mathematics. Okay? So, ang remedial class naman, remediation ito. So, hindi lang siya bumagsak sa English, Science, and Mathematics, but also in other learning areas. Actually, ginagawa naman to ng mga schools na may mga remedial classes talaga tayo for those pupils na bumagsak in two subjects, learning areas. Kaya gumagawa tayo ng intervention. Ito nga na remedial classes tayo sa eskwelahan. Okay. Let's move on to other EOSY at the same. Incoming grade 12 learners who are required to undertake work immersion in the upcoming semester shall have the option to take one or two advanced subjects during the NLC to lighten their academic load and give more attention to their work immersion. So sa grade 12 learners, yung mga grade 12 learners tayo, kasi pag nag-immersion na sila, medyo nakafocus doon ang most of their time. So some of the learners in senior high school, nahihirapan sila na pagsabayin ang immersion and at the same time, meron pa silang mga subjects. So pwede silang mag-advance, pwede silang mag-advance. And I think we will still wait for some consent and updates from the SDS. Siya kasi ang magdedesisyon din ito. Kasi nga, for sure, meron na naman tayong mga comments doon na sa field na yan, may grade 7 na and 8, meron pa na naman grade 12 na mag-a-advance. So, yun. Para matulungan sila to lighten their academic load, pwede silang mag-enroll advanced subjects. Okay. Now, the duration of the NLC and other EOSY break activities. Remedial classes and classes organized for incoming grade 12 learners with one or two subjects enrolled in advance shall be allotted 3 hours per subject from Mondays to Fridays for a span of 5 weeks. Okay, so please take note of this. These classes shall be conducted for 5 weeks with 5 days of teacher-learner engagement each week. However, schools in consultation with parents and with the approval of the school's division superintendent may decide to implement a blended distance learning delivery modality or the BLDM. The distance learning component of the BLDM shall not exceed 2 days in a week except during emergencies or crisis. So ito lang yun, please take note of this kasi kung kailangan na magkaroon ng ng mga break of activities natin sa mga schools, dapat alam natin ito kung ano ang duration, ano ang time na. Okay. Now, enrichment activities may be conducted for learners whose academic performance in the previous school year ranged from fairly satisfactory or higher to improve their level of attainment of the prescribed learning competencies and fully prepare them for transition to their next grade level. Enrichment activities may be conducted 3 days a week over a span of 3 weeks. Ito yung sa enrichment camp natin, no? Yes, na isang camp na nandun lang talaga yung mga learners whose academic performance in the previous year school year are fairly satisfactory or higher. Now, let's have the remedial class and in classes enrolled in advance by incoming grade 12 learners. This is the number 8 series of 2015 policy guidelines on classroom assessment for the K-12 basic education program or any future policy on assessment and grading shall apply. Okay. We come now to fun and engagement component. Ito yung fun field activities na tinatawag. No? Teachers shall ensure that the teaching learning process inside the classroom integrates fun and sense of fulfillment whenever learners experience success in learning. Teachers are highly encouraged to harness learners' creativity and resourcefulness to make learning compelling and engaging while working towards the attainment of learning competencies and standards. Okay, so need din ito ng mga bata, yung fun engagement component. Kasi pag nagtuturo naman talaga tayo, hindi lahat na puro seryoso lang talaga. We also inject some learning fun field learning activities. Embedded na siya sa mga lessons natin. No? For example, in English, embedded na siya. Doon sa lesson plans, nandoon na yung mga fun field activities din. Yung mga paiba-ibang mga activities in every group. So, pwede na tayong mag-design din, teachers, please take note of this, na doon sa lesson plans ninyo, nakikita ninyo na meron kayong pwedeng gawin na mag-i-enjoy ang mga bata, please do so. Pwede naman kayong mag-devise doon, magdagdag or kaya alter ninyo yung mga activities doon, tapos isingit ninyo kung ano yung gusto ninyong activity related also in the competencies that you are developing to the learners. Basta wag ka lang magdi-depart doon sa competencies na dinidevelop mo. Okay? So, meron din fun field activities like for example, after the class, pwede kang lumabas ang mga bata doon provided na secure sila. And it's a no-no also to have your fun field activities at night, sa gabi. Hindi pwede yun, So, ang nature kasi ng camp, shall ensure the teaching learning process inside the classroom integrates fun and sense of fulfillment whenever learner experience success in learning. So teachers are highly encouraged to harness learners' creativity and resourcefulness to make learning compelling and engaging while working towards the attainment of learning competencies and standards. So, please take note of this. Alam ko magaling tayo dito. For me in English, I plan na sana we can tap also the expertise of the MAPE department. So we will talk about this later. Kung pwedeng makahingi kami sa STA, Sir Jas, sa STA ng mga fun field activities related sa competencies na dine-develop in English. So, titingnan natin kung pwede kaming makapagbigay sa inyo ng mga suggestions kung paano gawin ang mga fun field activities injected or ilalagay, i-embed sa inyong mga competencies or lessons na gagawin in your class. So, yun. I know na mas marami, kumbaga, productive, mas marami ang mga alam ng mga teachers natin in the field. Most especially pag nakita lang nila ang competencies na dine-develop, nandoon yun sa lesson plans, and then makakapag-isip ka ng mas maganda o mas effective, more engaging na lesson or na activity for the learners. Gawin ninyo yon, teachers. Kayo ang mas maraming alam doon kesa sa amin. Okay? Now, let's move on. Here. still on fun-filled educational activities to enhance the overall learner experience in the NLC. Schools conduct fun-filled educational activities. Ito yung mga suggestions. Camp-like atmosphere at suitable school grounds in collaboration with external partners. So, pwedeng mag-camp. Ano? Kasi nga camping camp. Sabi nga nung una, magbibuild ba kami ng camp sa labas? So, you can do that also. Mag-camp talaga. Provided, for example, in a week, sa 3 days na lessons ninyo, so pwede kayong sa third day, sa Thursday, pwede ninyong after the class, pwede kayong mag-camp, kasi nga dito may suggestion na camp-like atmosphere at a suitable school grounds in collaboration with external partners. So makikipag-partner tayo with our external partners. Then, exciting games including mental health and psychosocial support activities. Yan, exciting games. So, pwede talagang maglaro ang mga bata or inclination nila na ma-develop. For example, may mga bata tayo na they are inclined to painting and then pwede silang mag-paint. Those of them who are inclined to singing and dancing, pwede naman silang gumawa nun. Depende yun sa mga lessons natin. Para ba ma-break yung sobrang hectic ng ating mga activities inside the class. Remember po, nagaling pa lang sila sa formal classes and then of course, they are looking forward for a vacation inside their house or outside na pwede silang lumabas talaga. Pero ngayon, ika-camp natin sila. So, let's also give them, provide them fun-filled educational activities. To provide opportunities also for learners to enjoy and apply the lessons they learn in the different learning areas. So, yun. I know na may mga good plans ang science, good plans ang mathematics nito. Nakikita ko nagdi-discuss si Sir Minnie at saka si Maminday ng mga activities din nila. And so, yun din ang gagawin ng science and mathematics. And the same way with English also. We have partners may organize booths, showcasing their products or services which are to be given as prizes or incentives to learners. So, pwede talaga tayong makipag-partners, na pwede tayong kumuha ng mga partners natin na doon sa makapagbibigay sa kanila, sa mga bata. And after showcasing their talents na in a fun-filled way, pwede talaga yun. So, depende na yun sa plano ng mga school heads, sa plano din ng mga teachers on how to do it outside the classroom. Okay. So, schools shall observe due diligence to ensure the safety and security of learners during the conduct of indoor and outdoor camp activities. Okay? So, lagi lang nating tatandaan, una sila palagi. So, we always have to ensure safety and security of the learners. Safety protocols, schools shall adhere to the provision of DO number 31 series 2022, otherwise known as the Child Rights Policy, and DO 40 series 2012, Deaf and Child Protection Policy. Schools shall ensure that all camp activities are aligned with the rights-based education framework. Please take note of the safety protocols. For here, ang mga incentives ng ating NLC teachers, vacation service credits. Sinabi na rin ito kanina ni Sir SDS, yung vacation service credits natin. Aside from mayroon na tayo, may dati na tayong mga service credits. Other than that, you are going to avail a vacation service credits of 15 days, 15 days vacation service credits. Hindi siya sa sick leave, kundi vacation talaga. So yung 15, actually during the seminar that we have attended in Makati and in Baguio City, sabi ng central office, magbababa daw sila pa ng pandagdag na service credits dito. Antayin natin to complete the 25 days na service credits for teachers who will volunteer to teach in the camp. So yun, magkakaroon kayo ng 25 service credits, no? Pagbaba noon kasi yun ang sabi ng mga directors doon. Now, you will also have certificate of recognition. Ito naman yung certificate of recognition ninyo, of course, pwede na itong gamitin gamitin for promotion. I'm just I think that's the other reason why we're giving this to the teachers who will be volunteering in the camp. So certificate of recognition na pwede ninyong reference for your promotion in the future. And other incentives. So yung other incentives include the 250 meal allowance, and we're still doing the procurement. Si Ma'am Che nag na rin ito na sana matapos na at mabigay na dumating na yung for the other incentives na tinatawag dito. Meanwhile, siguro pwede ko na munang sabihin na yung 250 per day daw for teachers meal allowance. Yun ang ibibigay sa inyong other incentives other than the vacation service credits and the certificate of recognition. Now, let's move on to this slide. Teachers involved in these NLRP-related EOSY break activities shall be granted vacation service credits for the services rendered during the NLC. 1 work day of vacation service credit shall be granted for accumulated 8 hours of service rendered as certified by the respective school heads. Okay? So, ito talaga parang clear, very clear ito. 1 work day of vacation service credit shall be granted per accumulated 8 hours of service rendered as certified by their respective school heads. Then, the number of service credits authorized is exclusive of the 15 days maximum vacation service credits allowed as stipulated in the DO 53 Series 2023 updated guidelines on the grant of vacation service credits to teachers. Okay? So, kung meron na kayong other 15, etong maximum pa siya, allowed siya na bigyan kayo ng 15 maximum vacation service credit. Okay. Next is the conduct of orientation activities. Clustered national orientation of key officials on the implementation of the NLC shall be conducted. Tapos na po ito. Regional offices in turn shall orient SDOs and school key officials in their respective regions. Tapos na din po ito. While this one, schools shall include an orientation on the implementation of the NLC in the agenda of their last quarter meeting with parents, legal guardians during the school year 2022-2023. Okay. Kasama yung sa orientation ninyo na gagawin sa mga parents. Next. A general orientation with parents, legal guardians should be conducted within the week before the first day of the NLC. Please take note of this, especially to the school heads. No? General orientation with parents and legal guardians, no, shall be conducted within the week before the first day of the NLC. So bago yung start of the NLC, mag-orient na tayo sa mga school ay sa mga parents. Then advocacy materials shall be prepared at the national, regional, division levels and school levels. So ang advocacy materials na din, we're starting this, and thank you so much to SDO family kasi sila yung tumutulong sa atin, and of course with the LR kay Sir Juancho and Sir Jobert Bonita, and of course si Sir Jeric also. Siya ang in charge ng ating video presentation, video advocacy materials that will be available, I think, tomorrow or the next day. Basta you will see the advocacy materials, the video advocacy materials soon, because yun nga gagawin yon ng SGOD, and yes, of course with the collaboration of the CID people. Now, the training of trainers for the implementation of the NLC for grade 7 and 8 to be participated, of course, by the CLMD and CID chiefs, EPSS, PSDSS, and school heads, and of course, the teachers. Ito kasi, pinaplano pa ito ng mabuti kasi wala pa tayong funding, but of course, we will have this before the start of the NLC. Kasi paano naman talaga makakapagsimula ang mga teachers kung hindi mo na sila na-train. So hopefully can do that in this coming weeks na before the start of the NLC. So sa 24 ang start. So before the 24th, dapat na-train na natin ang mga teachers. Yun din po ang problema natin kasi hindi pa po downloaded ang funds natin and we're still waiting for the policy guidelines coming from the central office. Kung meron na po, dire-diretso talaga tayo and we're working on that. Hindi na halos po natutulog kami sa kakaisip kung paano gagawin ng NLC. And so, cooperation po ang aming ina-anticipate sa inyo na sana po maintindihan din ninyo kami, tayo, sumusunod lang tayo sa mandato ng ating DepEd. Okay. So, the monitoring and evaluation, this is a collaborative undertaking to be conducted by the SMME and the SGOD and of course with the CID. Nandito si Sir Jason natatawa siya kasi involved din sila. For sure, sa kanila kasi ito nakalodge. Yung paggawa ng mga monitoring tool, nakalodge yun sa kanila and si Sir Rainier din, si Sir Rainier, Sir Johnson and Sir Nino, nagkausap na rin kami nung last week at sinabi ni Sir Rainier that they are just waiting for the guidelines. At doon naman sila magsisimula talaga kung paano gawin yung mga monitoring and evaluation tools. So, assured tayo na gagawin yun ng SGOD, of course, at ng CID. Okay. So, eto na, monitoring and evaluation. The school head shall be primarily responsible for supervising the implementation of these guidelines in their schools, ensuring that the provisions are communicated to all concerned stakeholders in the community. So, eto po kung bakit kayo talaga pinatawag, mga school heads, na as much as possible, all of you are present today, and perhaps kung magkaroon tayo ng face-to-face orientation ulit, we hope na 100% ang attendance ninyo because kayo talaga ang number one na magsusupervise with the implementation of the NLC in your school. The Curriculum Implementation Division or the CID, the Curriculum and Learning Management Division in the SDO and RO respectively shall lead in the monitoring of schools' compliance with these guidelines. The RO Quality Assurance Division, School Governance Operations Division shall have an oversight function on the M&E process. They may also be consulted for their expertise and guidance in conducting the M&E activities. Yun nga sinabi ko, assured na tayo dito kasi nag-commit na rin si Sir Rainier and of course si Sir Nino and Sir Jason na rin. At the school level, the implementation of these policies shall be monitored and evaluated by the school heads. The school heads shall prepare a report at the end of the annual learning camp that includes the highlights, challenges, and issues encountered through the policy implementation. The said report shall be submitted to the SDO for collation and analysis. The SDOs shall then prepare a consolidated report analysis for submission to the regional office. So, I hope na note ninyo po ang inyong, isa sa inyong gagawin, mga school heads, that you're going to prepare a report at the end of the annual learning camp. So, yun. Another is, overall feedback from the regional office shall be provided to the DepEd Central Office, Curriculum and Teaching strand through the Bureau of Learning Delivery to be used in evaluating the policy for continuous improvement of its design and implementation. All right. So let's move to the next slide. Still under monitoring and evaluation. A monitoring and evaluation or M&E plan with a corresponding M&E tool shall be developed for the CORO, SDO, and schools. Okay? So yun, nasabi ko na rin ito na magkakaroon talaga ng tool na gagamitin natin for monitoring and evaluation. Same, under monitoring and evaluation, it ensures the periodic conduct of NME activities following existing standards and guidelines stipulated in DO 29/2022 or the adoption of the Basic Education Monitoring and Evaluation Framework. Monitoring and evaluation and results informs the succeeding annual implementation plans of the school, SDO, RO, and the CO or central office. Now, monitoring and evaluation, the school heads shall be primarily responsible for supervising the implementation of the guidelines in their schools, ensuring that the provisions are communicated to all concerned stakeholders in the school community. Yan, mga school heads, kaway-kaway kayo dyan. Monitoring and evaluation still, curriculum implementation division, CID, Curriculum and Learning Management Division or the CLMD, lead in the monitoring of schools' compliance with the policy guidelines or NLC. Okay, sa amin yun, sa CID. Now, for Quality Assurance Division or the quad of the RO and School Governance Operations Division of the SDO. Okay, so sa SDO naman ito, sa SGOD and sa RO, sa Quad, shall have an oversight function of the M&E process. May also be consulted for their expertise and guidance in conducting the M&E activities. Okay, so alam na yan ang mga tao ni Sir Mark Rupa sa SGOD. So assured tayo dyan na mabibigyan nila tayo ng magandang serbisyo in terms of monitoring and evaluation. Now, at the school level, the implementation of the policy shall be monitored and evaluated by the school head. Ayan. Again, at the school level, the implementation of the policy shall be monitored and evaluated by the school head. So, napakalaki talaga ng role ng mga school heads dito sa ating pag-implement ng learning camp. The school head shall prepare a report at the end of the annual learning camp that includes the highlights and challenges encountered throughout the policy implementation. It shall be submitted to the SDO for collation and analysis. Ayan. Alright. And then, sa Schools Division Office, the SDOs will then prepare a consolidated report analysis for submission to the regional office. Yan. Yun naman ang part ng Division Office. The regional office, overall feedback from regional offices shall be provided to the DepEd Central Office, curriculum and teaching stand through the Bureau of Learning Delivery to be used in evaluating the policy for continuous improvement of its design and implementation. Okay, the Bureau of Learning Delivery, the Central CT strand through the BLD shall be responsible for the continuous improvement of these implementing guidelines. Consolidated feedback shall be addressed to the Office of the Director. Okay, so let's move on. Malapit na po tayo. The National Learning Camp Pre- and Post-Assessment for Grade 7 and 8. National Learning Camp Assessment. The Bureau of Education Assessment in coordination with the Research Center for Teacher Quality or the CMER shall administer the National Learning Camp Assessment for grade 7 and 8 learners in all public schools. Primarily, the NLC assessment shall be administered through the online computer-based platform. Ito yung sinabi ko po kanina na online computer-based platform na hindi natin pwedeng gawin sa ating division because of, ang mahirap ang signal sa atin. And so, ang kapalit nito, yun nga po, ang general weighted average ng mga bata of grade 7 and 8 in the 3 learning areas, science, English, science, and mathematics. There are two important dates vital to the successful implementation of the NLC assessment: the preliminary meeting with regional and division testing personnel and IT officers in June 9. Ito po hindi natin nagawa. Yun nga ang sabi ko na hindi tayo pwedeng mag-avail ng online testing. Okay, so June 14, where testing schedule scheme and other related concerns will be discussed. Okay, so accessing the Moodle platform, hindi na rin po ito sa atin kasi nga, yun nga po ang sabi ko na hindi pwede tayong mag-avail ng assessment na ito, na online assessment. Okay, so all in all, ito lang po talaga ang laman ng ating orientation, ng ating NLC. So, yun lang po ang maaari kong sabihin, that we have to wait for another advisory kasi gagawin talaga yon within this week. We're just working on it. We're looking forward to the release of the SARO for the budget, and also meron ng guidelines na binaba through the LRMS, because sabi ko nga po, they are the ones responsible for the materials, ang distribution, kung paano gagawin yon. Isa lang ang advice din natin sa mga schools na kung ano po ang budget na ibibigay sa inyo, for example, for the materials, it should only be for the materials of the NLC. Hindi po natin pwedeng gamitin yon sa ibang i-realign natin o ano pa na ang gawin natin sa ating mga funds na yon, kundi doon lang talaga. And at the same time also, there is also a highlight request doon sa training na hindi po natin pwedeng pagtatrabahuin ang ating mga teachers in printing the materials, because for sure sa school po ilalodge ang printing of the materials. Ang mga teachers po, hindi natin pwedeng sila pa ang pag-print natin ng mga materials because all the responsibilities should be focused on the responsibility teaching the learners in the camp. Yun lang po talaga ang kanilang gagawin. Tatanggapin lang nila ang mga learning materials na buo na, and the school can also ask the non-teaching personnel kung nandoon sa naka-office sa inyong mga schools na sila ang magpiprint, matutulong sa pagprint, or you can also hire a job order. Pwede po kayong mag-job order ng mga tao na babayaran po ang services nila babayaran through the funds galing sa NLC. So, pwede kayong mag-hire. Yun lang po talaga ang dapat na gawin, na wag natin na ilagay pa sa mga balikat ng mga teachers ang pag-print ng mga materials. All they have to do is just to get the materials. Kunin na lang ang materials na talagang eksakto na dun sa week na ituturo nila, at mag-aaral lang sila or magko-collaborate lang sila with the other teachers in the discussion of the lesson. Again, I am appealing this to all of you, most especially to the grade 7 and 8 learners. Maraming salamat po sa school heads. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Lalong-lalo na po sa mga teachers natin. Sana po medyo may klaro na. Sana po na medyo may naiintindihan na tayo with what the learning camp is all about. So sana po sa 24, before the 24th, ma-ready na natin lahat, and we're working on it po talaga. Maraming salamat po. Pasensya na sa mga glitches na nangyari kanina, pero then and again, we're very thankful of your attendance to this virtual meeting. Thank you very much.
Len, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ninang Len, for the comprehensive input. Let us give a virtual clap to Ninang Len, to Ma'am Len. You can also tap the heart reaction or the clap reaction or the thumbs up reaction
for Ma'am Len Titong for the comprehensive discussion on the National Learning Camp. So at this point, ladies and friends, we will be catering to your questions and clarifications. And this will be facilitated, of course, by the other in charge of this National Learning Camp. We have, of course, Sir Mini Chodoro, Sir Manuel Chodoro, and Madam Imelda Rihuso. Ma'am, Ma'am Mamita, Sir Mini, adi po kamo sa virtual room. Are you in the virtual room? Meds? Ayan, there. Sige. Also, I believe Ma'am Len can cater also to the questions and to the clarifications that you want to raise. So, actually silang tatlong pwedeng sumagot. Ma'am Imelda, Sir Manuel, and Ma'am Helen. Sige po. I believe I have already read questions dito sa chat box natin. So, pasadahan ko na, Ma'am Len. Sige po. So, may dalawa akong nakita. The first is, wait, let me, this comes from Sir or Ma'am? Ma'am Ipa Tapaw. Her question goes this way. In an intervention, do we need to start where the students are? Or are we going to start with specified competencies?
Hindi na dapat.
Specified competencies po. Sige nang lang, open your mic na.
Okay. So, there are lessons po na that will be given to you. May mga materials po na ibibigay sa inyo. Now, mas kayo po ang nakakaalam ng level ng inyong mga bata po sa intervention camp. Now, if you think na hindi bagay yung lesson na para sa kanila, then you can do your own strategy kung paano mo aatakihin yung lesson para sa kanila. But we have materials na ibibigay, i-download sa inyo, and then ipiprint para sa mga teachers, and then they can make use of those materials. Now, yun nga ang sinabi ko, kahit naman sa klase natin, kung hindi natin, depende yun sa approach natin sa mga bata. Kasi tayong mga teachers, ang mas nakakaalam si level na. And also the strategies that we're going to use in the lesson that we're going to give to them. So, yun lang naman po. Basta meron
Kaya mamalaga
gay na mga materials. Pwedeng gamitin yun. Now, if talaga not swak, hindi siya bagay sa bata, then you can do your
1.25. 1 hour mo is equivalent to 1.25. Pero mag 6 hours ka. Kasama rin to isa.
Thank you, Ma'am Len, for that answer. Sir,
maximum teaching load yan po rin.
Okay, so I hope it's clear. First, there will be materials that will be distributed. But if they do not fit the needs of your learners, then you can craft your own.
You can modify.
Okay, second question. This comes from Sir Ronnie Sopsop. Ma'am, pwede po ba stay in ang mga bata like BSP camping during this activity? Stay in like during...
stay in, sir,
parang sa Boy Scout.
No, hindi po tayo allowed kasi nga wala tayong stay in. Of course, they will stay overnight. I think hindi natin ina-allow yun. Only activities outside that can be conducted for as long as the safety and security of all the learners are being observed. Hindi po natin sila pwedeng yung overnight na camping talaga, ano, Sir Ronnie, yun talaga
Yes,
gusto mo na
Opo.
camping na camping
Yes,
talaga,
ma'am.
just like out. Hindi po, ano lang, kung ano ang lessons nila, for example, in 3 days, pwede lang silang i-compress nila yon, and then one activity outside,
Yes, ma'am.
outside the classroom, but inside the school, no? Outside
Yes,
the
ma'am.
classroom, but inside the school. Yun ang pwede nating gawin. Yun nga sabi ko na may mga inclination ang mga bata. For example, they love to play basketball, and then meron tayo doon, embedded yun din sa mga, sa lesson natin na meron din meron tayong lesson na parang pwede yun, na? Pwede yun. So, pwede mong gawin yun outside. Pero, nandun si teacher, and yun nga, pwedeng mag-tap ng mga stakeholders na pwedeng tumulong sa atin. But definitely no na night activities. Mahirap yun, sir, kasi hindi natin alam. Imagine grade 7 and 8 na po yan. So medyo ang age nila delikado na kung sakasakaling hindi natin sila makontrol. Ano po, Sir Ronnie?
Opo, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hello, Kalayaan.
Okay.
Ma'am Helen.
Si Ma'am Helen.
Hello, Ma'am Helen.
Okay, hello, ma'am, Med. Sige, yun lang po
Hello, hello.
ang answers mo. I-acknowledge na, Med.
Anyway,
Pwede lang ko
during the...
makikita.
Hello, okay na ba? Okay na? Hello.
You're heard po. Audibly po heard po.
During the capacity building for teachers, we shall have a demo lesson on length of time. Kung gaano ba yung ano. Kasi mayroong ipoprovide naman na sample class schedule. Kasi diba 45 minutes lang naman per lesson. Kaya hindi tayo pwede magkaroon ng we allotted for 45 minutes per lesson.
45 minutes.
45.
45 minutes per lesson.
5 minutes po yun per lesson. At ipapakita po yan, don't worry, during the capacity building for teachers, magkakaroon po tayo ng demonstration kung paano yun mangyayari ng 45 minutes using the lesson design provided to the teachers. Ipapakitang turo po yun.
And, thank you po, Ma'am Med. Okay, another question. I believe that answer also answers this question. Are we going to do this camp 8 hours per day po ba? That's according to Ma'am Julie Makatian.
It's not,
Answer natin.
hindi, parang answered na yun, answered na, di ba?
Okay, so next question po. What will be the role of the master teachers in the learning camp?
Master teachers will teach.
They can teach.
Okay po.
Master
Actually,
teachers
that's clear.
will teach also. They are not exempted.
Ito yung mga question ako.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Med.
Yes po.
Ito,
Welcome.
parang medyo, Mamaritas Katamko. Paano po kapag walang interested na students?
Okay. Kaya nga, sige, Ma'am Inday, sige na.
The reason why we are having this early orientation and we are trying to have an information campaign, advocacy, actually the division will be providing advocacy materials, and we are trying to, sabi nga rin na, nangingimpi nyo kita, ano? We are courting, because this is not for us, but this is for their children. Dapat, we will orient the parents, kaya diba sa sinabi ni Ma'am Helen kanina, kung nakinig kayo ng mabuti, you will be conducting orientation, last quarter orientation ng mga may parents forum via sa school, kung saan nagbibigay sila ng last quarter report, ng report card. Doon, pwede na po daw mag-orient sa mga parents selling our program. Ating ibebenta ito. Remember na kailangan talaga na makarecover tayo sa academic loss natin. So therefore, kung ako ay isang magulang na gusto ko namang matuto yung bata, instead na ako magtuturo sa bahay, i-enroll ko na yung bata. May matututunan pa. So, nakadepende po yun. Ang lahat ng ito ay nakadepende sa atin from us, from the school heads, from the teachers. Kasi, kung tayo mismo ay niga dito, paano natin ito may sisell? Paano natin ito may bebenta sa ating mga parents? So, foremost, we have to embrace it before we let others accept it. So, yun lang. Remember na yung mga bagsak, papasok sila sa intervention camp. Yung mga failing grades, kaya nga yung maximum na napapasok sa intervention camp ay 10. Pero kung 15 lang ang nandyan, pwede na sila sa isang klase. Yung enhancement at consolidation ay maximum of 35. So hopefully, we can have it. Sana tulong-tulong tayo na mag-court sa mga magulang. At sa mga school heads, kailangan din nating mag-court ng volunteer teachers because we all know that this is voluntary in nature. Thank you.
And thank you, Meds. Another question. Ma'am Len, do you have follow-up answer?
Opo. Yun nga din, the same with Ma'am Inday's, na sinabi ni Ma'am Inday. Yes, it should start really from us. Kasi, una pa lang, kasi nga, voluntary, yun na agad ang nasa isip natin na, I will not volunteer myself. So, sana po, mag-positive tayo dito. If we're not going to embrace this, walang mangyayari dito sa camp na ito. Ano po? So, yun lang. Master teachers, I know na mag-volunteer talaga. Thank you.
Okay, sige. We're going to try to accommodate as many questions. But please be also be informed that we will...
Department. Paupod ko si Attorney Melody. So, madidelay ng 1 day yung uwi ko. And I'd like to greet ASDS Che and ASDS Joel, OICCID Chief Sir Noel Aban and Chief Mark of the SDOD, the 4 EPSS who are the focal persons for this National Learning Camp, Ma'am Helen Titong, Ma'am Imelda Rihuso, Sir Billy Chodoro, and Sir Joshua Uyon. Of course, to all the education program supervisors and PSDS, the school heads, and grade 7 and grade 8 teachers of English, Science, and Math, and to all our viewers, listeners virtually, from lahat ng teachers and non-teaching personnel and school heads in the whole SDO Masbate. First, I'd like to give my appreciation and thanks to everyone, to all of you, from the DO personnel to the field personnel sa district, sa schools, and sa learning centers ng ating alternative learning center for the preparations for our end of school year and our graduation. May mga konting issue tayo sa certificate, sa diploma, kesyo may border o wala, yung translation na binigay ni Sir Joshua at yung template natin sa DepEd order. So once and for all, magbibigay ako ng instruction, may border o wala ang certificate or diploma, ipasa dahil accepted yan parehas. Regarding naman doon sa translation ng template, kung nakaprint na kayo ng diploma o certificate na merong translation, na may konting deviation doon sa DepEd order, wag nyo nang palitan, wag na kayong mag-reprint, yun na rin ang ipasa. Okay? But doon sa mga hindi pa nakaprint ng certificate and diploma, yung template doon sa DepEd order ang ating susundin. And also, the key personnel are so busy for the Teacher 1 applicants. Nakapil ngayon sa different clusters. And to all of you, I know for a fact and I fully understand how busy, how tiresome, how stressful our days before, during, and after graduation, and now for this National Learning Camp. I'd like to inform everyone that the Learning Camp is a nationwide activity of the Department of Education with the prime purpose of addressing learning gaps and learning losses, and at least give that supplement and remediation reinforcement to our learners. For this learning camp and for this business in the graduation, our leadership, our commitment and dedication and willingness to give that extra mile service are to be tested again. We are supposedly on, you. The teachers are supposedly on vacation and rest after the graduation program. But we are in this learning camp. Lahat po ay stress at lahat ay may concerns regarding procurement, regarding training, regarding all the preparations for the learning camp. Kahit saan pong Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. And para sa ating mga classroom teachers na magbo-volunteer, alam ko po na ang 15 to 25 days na additional vacation service credit, take note, hindi siya simpleng service credit. I-explain ito ng mas maayos ng apat na EPSS at ni Ma'am Che. Hindi siya simpleng service credit kasi yung simpleng service credit ay i-offset lang natin pag merong sickness. Dito sa vacation service credit ay pwede nyo siyang i-offset sa inyong vacation leave. And I know for a fact na yung 15 to 25 as additional to the maximum 15 days service credit in 1 year. So kung meron kayong 15 days na na-earn na doon sa mga seminars, training during holidays and Saturday and Sundays, pagkatapos ng learning camp, meron kayong minimum na 15 to 25 days, so magiging 30 or 45 days yung magiging service credit nyo this year. Sabi ko, yung service credit na yan at yung mga maliliit na benefits na makukuha natin sa ating pag-volunteer at pagsakripisyo dito sa learning camp ay hindi compensated. I mean, hindi siya katumbas doon sa dapat sana ay nakabakasyon kayo. But the Office of the Schools Division Superintendent with Ma'am Che and Sir Joel and all the two chiefs and all of us in the SDO leadership are appealing to your indulgence. We are appealing and requesting for your support and cooperation in the planning, preparation, and implementation of the learning camp. Wala po tayong pwedeng hugutin, wala tayong pwedeng makol na ibang mga tao to execute the implementation of the learning camp kung hindi ang mga teachers na nasa school. Kaya pagpasensyahan nyo na, this is a call from the Department of Education, and this is a part of our sacrifice in labor for our school children in the division of Masbate province. I am on the lead. I am the overall overseer of the preparation and implementation of the camp, but ASDS Che is my alternate, supported by the 4 EPSS and all the 2 chiefs and all the EPS and PSDSS in the Curriculum and Implementation Division. Maraming salamat. Baka maputol lang signal ko, I'll be traveling naman ulit. Tumigil lang ako sa restaurant na may malakas na wifi to join you in the opening program. All queries are to be answered by Ma'am Che and the 4 EPSs who attended the orientation and training in Baguio City. Thank you very much and God bless us all. But ang may earn ng teacher